I've been
Yeah,
waiting for
there
this
is.
podcast with you. It's like I don't know. I can say it's a pleasure for me just to be the first one to
Thanks.
do it with you. It's crazy, and I like I'm benefit from your mentorship every time, every day, every time I interact with you. I learn something new. So it's just an opportunity for me, amazing
Thanks.
opportunity. Uh,
Happy to be helpful.
yes, you are definitely. And like the minute you said we're going to do podcast, I'm like, okay, I have a lot of questions. I want like some answers from you. It's more like on the professional level, but at the same time, it's personal. And I hope I'll get like some meaningful insights from it.
I hope you will. And so this is going to be our first one, and then let's see where it's going to take me.
Of course.
We'll get it, I would say, maybe with someone else as well. Maybe you can do podcasts with Alexa, with Dennis in the future, then with some other agents and brokers from other
Of course.
teams or other companies.
It would be
Let's
amazing.
just,
It is an amazing opportunity, by the way, to learn. And as I am like getting into the field, I'm loving real estate more and more, and getting to learn it up close with you. It's just amazing. Even though with Alexa as well, because I work with her on a daily
Mhm, mhm.
basis. I just, I'm in love with this.
Good, good. I'm happy to hear that, my friend. Honestly, I'm happy to hear that. I just had a podcast yesterday, and I spoke to guys, and they told me how pretty much how you hire, how do you look for people? Because before I had, um, I'll go later more in details, but before I had a lot of agents here, like 65 guys, but they are like not all of them were motivated, And then uh, when I kind of start switching to virtual office, let's put it that way, right? Like Lena, she's been with me for 5 or 6 years, right? Alexa,
Okay.
the same thing. I'm really happy to see guys who are passionate, and you were saying you in love with what you do.
Exactly.
I think this is the best thing that we can have, because our brain, we always want something, and especially if we're not happy with what we have, then it's kind of hard life, I would say, in a one way, right?
In one way,
In a
yes.
certain way, yeah. But when you at least have something that you do on a daily basis as your job, profession, whatever you can call it, um, whatever you want it, right? But if you enjoy it, if you're in love with it, if you're really excited and like really there is
You
a
can
fire inside of you about that, it,
you can do a
it's
lot. You can
something. It's
achieve a
something
lot.
you can do for
You
sure,
can
man,
achieve
for
like I
sure.
think the way you started hiring, because I still remember, like I remember everything, like the way it was exactly like my first meeting with you. And I'm like, I finished the meeting and I'm like, okay, is this real? I'm like, I don't understand. Like, wait a minute, because I have worked with many people and I've worked in different fields, and I'm like, okay, like if this is the way it is done, it's amazing. Because it's not like feeling in a family. I do feel in a family, but in a way, you're like your number one motive is to understand like what everyone wants. Like, Nizar, do you want to do this? And are you going to stay? Are you going to do this? Are you going? And it's like, I'm like, okay, this is amazing, because we're looking long term. We're not just looking short term. Because
Mhm,
mostly everyone, every single boss and anywhere, like they just want to improve the KPIs today. And tomorrow,
mhm,
well, if it is improved, okay, I need you, I don't need you, it doesn't matter. But when you feel like
mhm, mhm.
secure, you're like, I'm secure, I'm good. When you feel like security, because some people just relate security with working with the government, working on a contract that is
Mhm.
like secure from anyway. But when you're secure in like psychologically, it's
Yeah,
better. It's way better.
yeah,
And especially the field like Miami, like just look at the background. It's just, come on, I'm selling homes here. It's amazing. Even
yeah. Mhm.
it's just amazing. I wanted to know, like, what initially like drew you towards real estate. Like, why real estate for you?
I would say it's probably kind of by accident. I would call it that way. I used to work at the restaurant, and like my last job, right? And it was 20, right? That was 2024, probably like 2012, something around that time. And I've heard from one of my colleagues that real estate is booming, and his auntie, she's doing a real estate, she's making good money. And to become a realtor, you don't need to have you don't need to do like a lot of education. Like you just take a course. It's 63 hours course, right? And then you pass exam at the school, pass exam at the state, and you can start working. Honestly, it does not give you much as the knowledge. You know, it gives you knowledge, of course, about laws, about ethical things, but does not give you knowledge about how to do business, how to market yourself, how to be, how to provide customer service, because it's a customer service business. And then I've heard from someone else about it as well, that market is booming. I'm like, okay, I'll try. And then I applied for those courses. I took the class, 63 hours, and then I think I did not pass exam, or maybe I didn't even try. Yeah, I think I didn't even try. I just passed exam in the school, and that's it. I didn't go for my state, because for
Oh,
state it's a separate. You have to apply for it, and then you have to pass it. So I continue to work by the way, a friend of mine, he's my best friend here. He used to tell me, you have to get out from that job, from the waiter job, because I was at the first year, I was kind of excited about it. You know, I loved it. It was very energetic environment. I was making good money there, around like maybe 5 to 6 thousand a month. Back then, it was great money. You know,
yeah.
it was really hard, to be honest, because it's emotionally, physically, it's hard. But look,
Yes.
for as I said, first year everything was good. The second year, I got kind of a bit tired from it. You know, when you don't see changes, when everything's the same,
Burnout.
yeah, you burned out. And he's been telling me that. And then, so what happened that I got that school, right? I keep working at the restaurant. And then after like, yeah, after like maybe a few months from that time, I got sick and I didn't come to work. I sent a message to my GM and ask him, look, I'm sick. I have to, like, I need to take days off. But he was the guy, he's one of the best GMs, but he was like super, how to say that, um, not an easy guy, you know.
Yeah, I need to go.
He
Yeah.
was very like strong,
Yeah. Strict,
I
very
mean,
strict. And
strict,
yeah.
strong, strict, like, you know, when you're talking to him. So, and I've been sick and I told him I need to take like a few days off. And he's like, he didn't say I don't give a shit, but something was like, I don't give a shit. I'll see you at 3 p.m., you know. I need you to be here, you know. It
You
was not a
have to.
conversation.
Yeah.
What happened to you? Or like it was like that's it. Like,
Doesn't
but I
matter.
decided not I decided not to go because as I said, I was kind of burnt out. But before I can tell you, before I used to go there like no matter what. I remember at one point I even had pneumonia, you know, pneumonia.
Oh, yes, pneumonia.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I had
Ooh.
a pneumonia and I didn't know about it. And
Ooh.
even with the pneumonia, I decided to go there because, as I said,
Oh,
it
wow.
was a super strict like DM. It was very like very army type of environment. So I'll tell you about like
Of
pneumonia, and
course.
then
Of
I'll give you more details
course.
about that job.
Of course. We
And
go over that.
then I came with the pneumonia. I asked him, look, I need to like take a rest. He's like, no, you have to be here. So I came. What we used to do, we used to set up the restaurant at 3 p.m. for like
Hmm.
an hour and a half, like 2 hours actually. We set up the tables, like prepare a restaurant for the opening for the dinner.
Yeah.
And then at 6 o'clock, we usually had a lineup. At 5:30, we had a dinner, like a family dinner, like for employees. Then we got changed, right? Dressed
Hmm.
ourselves, and
Hmm.
then 6 o'clock it was lineup.
Hmm.
And before the lineup, I was like kind of coughing or something, and there was a sink, like
Oh,
in the kitchen, right? And I was coughing, and the blood came
of
out.
course.
And
Yes.
one of the guys, he saw that, you know, and he told the manager. And when he found out about it, because um, I didn't pretend
Wow.
to be sick, you know, because I was working like hard. I was working 5, 6 days a week, and I enjoyed what I was doing. So, and he sent me home that time. And by the way,
By
I was
time,
saying,
by time he
yeah,
should send you home. Like you shouldn't
yeah,
have even come. Like it's crazy with
but
pneumonia
look, it
and
was like an army. If
yeah.
you come late 1 minute, they send you home. If you come not shaved, they will send you home. If you come again like and your pants is dirty or not ironed, you can go home for a week, like or 2 weeks. It was it was pretty it was pretty strict, and it was good. People was making money, but everybody followed the rules. So when you have like there's 100 something employees and just one GM who was taking care of everything,
Wow, yeah.
you have to be that way. So yeah, and that was the my second time when I got sick, and I said, look, I have to stay home, and he said, look, you have to be here. And then after like few days, when I feel better, I went there, and he asked me, so what do you want, pretty much?
Mm.
And I guess he was expecting that I'm gonna say, look, I'm sorry or something like that. I was sick, but I decided, look, I don't want anything. All good.
Mm. Mm.
And yeah, that's how it's all ended up. I quit working there. I mean, I've been fired or quit, whatever you call it. It doesn't really matter.
Don't work
And
there anymore.
then I
Mhm.
got few days of I'm sorry, few months, not few days, few months of kind of doing nothing, pretty much, enjoying myself. And I started trying to pass exam for real estate. I tried 6 or 7 times. I
Wow.
didn't pass it from first time. Then I tried second time, third time, fourth time. So I tried 7 times, and I did nailed
Damn.
it.
Damn.
And then once I start working, I'm like, okay, I love it. From
That's
the day
it.
one, I'm like just working for myself. I realized, look, as more effort I put, will be better for me eventually, like
Of
financially,
course.
like
Of course.
anyway, right?
Do you think the
And I
fact that
realized
you
it's
worked, do you think the fact that you, sorry to cut you off, but do you think the
no, no, no,
fact
no.
that you worked in that environment before with that general manager helped you?
Yeah, it's
Because,
like 100%, man. Like it's 2 years. I've been there 2 years.
wow.
When you 2 years in that type of environment, first I learned customer service, right? There back then, I remember we had it was 270 or 280 covers, like
Mm.
sittings, right, in the
Yeah.
restaurant. And also it
Oh.
was prefix menu. So people had to, when they order menu, they automatically get their appetizer, main dish, and
Mhm.
sometimes they can ask for dessert. But when we were busy, the way I used to come to tables, because we had to turn tables like 1 hour, 15 minutes, the max, like for four people. And everybody was laughing at me or from me when we were busy, that I used to go to table, and after second course, ask, "Do you guys want to ice any desserts?"
No.
Like that, and everybody was laughing,
You better
and they're
say
like, "Oh
no.
no, that's it," because we had to have another people
Yeah.
be seated. And so what I was saying also, it's 270 covers seatings actually, and we turned record was like 800 people for just one night. And when we finish our shift, some of the guys went home sleep, tired, right? Some of the guys it was like 8 hour shift from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. Yeah, more 11 hours. And some of the guys went drinking to a pub right next to it. There was a bar. What I used to do, I used to run. So like at 2 a.m. I changed clothes and I went for running. Like sometimes I run like just on the boardwalk for
After
like
all the
30,
busy
40
day,
minutes.
you go to run?
Yeah, after.
Wow, why?
And what? Because I was thinking to myself, actually, it came to me. This is another story before, but yeah, I'll tell you why. Pretty much when I used to live at North Carolina, I was working at the pizza place, Papa John's,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Hmm.
from
Okay.
uh, from what do you call it? Maybe like 3 p.m. and through 11 p.m. or like
3
10
p.m.
p.m.
too.
or
Mhm.
like 10 p.m., for example. And then from
Mhm.
11 p.m. through morning, 6 or 7 a.m., another job. One point
Oh,
I've been doing that for a whole month. So without days off, like from 3 p.m. to 7 a.m. And then when I had like
oh,
some of the free time, like 3 days off, I decided to start exercise myself. I was kind of thinking, okay, if I'm gonna put more pressure to myself, pressure I mean by like exercising, right,
yeah.
or running,
Mm.
if we're going back to Miami time restaurant. So I went for running and I was putting like getting kind of build myself because if I get myself more exhausted, it means I will be more resistant in the future to the same amount of work, right?
Oh.
And I used to run sometimes like from Miami Beach to Edgewater. It's like hour and a half through the bridge.
Wow.
And people called me like crazy. I remember when guys from my work, they said like, what the
What
fuck
are
is
you
going on with
doing?
you? You know, because they didn't understand, you know.
Exactly. You just want to rest.
But
Anyone else, you just want to
yeah,
rest. But the way you're doing it,
yeah,
I don't know, there is a benefit to it because it just, if you're putting your mind through a lot of
yeah,
stress, your mind is under a lot of stress. A
yeah,
100%. You're gonna become fat. You're gonna have high cortisol levels. You're gonna
yeah,
just your body cannot resist all that stress. So you were releasing the stress by running and doing all that
yeah,
pressure
yeah,
because the pressure your mind was enduring, you had to put it on your body as well. And that way it just
yeah.
I think it was
Plus,
good for you.
Plus, you know what I just realized? It was some kind of meditation. You know, when I used to
Yes.
run, you just by yourself with your own thoughts. You know, and nobody bothers you, and it also kind of flash your stress and emotions after heavy night, right? Like a hard night.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
that's
Indeed.
interesting. You know, it's you just I kind of put myself in those times, and I remember when people didn't get it. But some I remember they used to tell me, you know, when you're gonna open up your restaurant, because they kind of I guess saw in me that I can do something I guess out of this life.
Yes.
They told me, look, if you open up your restaurant, if you hire, I'm gonna
I'll
work with
be
you.
there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some
It
people
is
they didn't
amazing.
get it, you know. But yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I used to
It's
do.
discipline. It's discipline.
Discipline, yeah, yeah.
You
Discipline.
actually
It's
learn discipline in a way. This, I think for me, this is what makes you like a different real estate agent like in Miami. It just makes you different. And I don't know. I'm new in Miami. I'm still learning here. But as I can see, like not many people are as hardworking, if I might say.
mm-hmm.
I am
Yeah, yeah.
entitled to my own opinion. For anyone else who thinks otherwise, like I do believe that you're one of the most hardworking. Even on your days off, you're like he's recording videos, going homes, and I'm like, man, like these are days
Yeah.
off. These are like some days you had allergies and you just pick it up, take medication, and go record the video. It's that discipline that you learn. And if like I didn't know you or like you didn't tell me the stories that you told me, I'm like, what did this guy have to endure to become this way? Like you must have
Mm-hmm.
lived something. But now it's obvious and I understand. Like, what do you think? What aspect do you love more about real estate? Like, what do you love a lot about real estate, and what
Mm-hmm.
you're like, you don't like a lot? Like you, I'm not gonna say hate, but
Yeah.
yeah, what do you think?
What I love, communication for sure with the people, you know, that you can talk always to different people, you can learn something from them. One of the examples, when there was a COVID, right, happened,
Yeah.
and we were locked out in our apartments, kind of locked out. Miami was not that bad, but still, I remember I was doing calls from the balcony. I used to live in the building right here, and I remember on the balcony, sun is shining, and I'm making calls. Some of the people they like, what are you talking about? Real estate in Miami? You know what's happening with the world? We're going to like to the end. I'm like, okay, thank you, bye. You know, I don't want to listen to negativity. It's no point. Then I call someone else, and they like, yeah, Dennis, why everything is good. You know, life is beautiful. Blah blah blah. Enjoying my time here. You know, like. And when you ask them, so what do you think about real estate? Yeah, I think it's good. It's a good time. You know, let's see if any good like projects, properties offer it to me. So, and its reality was a great time first to buy. Second, back to why I enjoy real estate, that you can talk to people who can, how to say that, who can help you
Yeah.
at certain points with something, maybe with advice, maybe just with a small conversation. Maybe they will become your clients who's going to help
Yeah.
you first to be um, like, how to say that, your financial support, let's put it that way, right?
Yeah.
I have one of my he's a good friend of mine now, right? And client as well. He bought like multiple units with us. There's like bunch of realtors are around him, bunch, but he's still working with us no matter what. Even he told the
Basically.
other realtor, look, if I'm gonna buy something with you, if you're gonna offer me something, so because you know how it is, it could be a possibility, right? He
Yeah.
said you're still gonna share commission with the dentist, and that's the thing. When you have those people around you, they will make your life better, in my opinion, right? Of course, there is a different type of people, but this is life. It's
But the way you
everywhere, right?
say it, it just I don't know if it was exactly The Alchemist where I saw this,
Hmm.
but
Uh-huh.
like it's just a quote that's been laying around, which is if even if you have millions and millions of dollars in the bank, you're not actually rich. Like the rich people are those who, yeah, have the money, but then
Hmm.
have the people. Because there are two types of banks. There's the bank that has money, and there's the bank of
Yeah.
people. And you can like list the richest as those who have the best acquaintances. And I do believe that for real estate, it's a gate that gets you to get those people, know those
Hmm.
people, whether they
Yeah.
are rich, whether they are rich in their minds, the knowledge and everything. And I do believe that's I don't know, that's a great answer. Like anyone else, you would have expected to say like the financial gain from real estate, especially in Miami. But then as you
Yeah.
see it, it's
Financial gains is not financial gains. 1 second.
of course.
Let me call a client for one more. By the way, that's the one that I just told you about.
Oh wow.
I know
Oh,
that. Yeah. So yeah, that was him.
what a
Sometimes when you're
coincidence.
talking about, yeah, when you talk about someone, and you attract that with, I guess, our minds. So yeah, that's true.
That
Financial gains is not most important part in life, my opinion. Of course, it's good to be um, financially established,
yeah,
right? That you can afford things, you can buy things, you can enjoy things, because there's no other way you can get something, right? Just with the money. That's how the world works.
of
That's
course.
normal. Um, I guess that's normal, unfortunately. But yeah, but it's not the main goal, right?
Of
Because
course. It's the way you
it's
think
not the
about
main
it.
goal.
It's the way you think about it because when you don't have money, it's normal for you to think that money is everything. Like you need it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
normal.
yeah.
But when you have money, when you do have the money, it's
Mhm.
not normal to think that money is everything because that way you're gonna chase for the money your whole
Yeah.
life. You have it already. Just look the other way. I think that's a really good insight and perspective. But I had to ask you, like, did you have any mentor when you started real estate? Like someone who actually you could remember off the top of your head, like that was
Yeah.
a mentor for you.
No, my friend, I didn't have anyone.
Wow.
Fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't have anyone.
Wow.
I
That is
was thinking about it, a couple of times. Maybe I should have.
someone.
Um, yeah, someone, but no, I didn't.
That's for me, that's even amazing because you're self-made that way. You're self-made.
Yeah, I guess that's
Well, that is amazing. What do you think? Like, what advice could you give like aspiring sales agents, real like anyone who got into the real estate field, like me, like myself, or any
Mhm.
other one? What is the best advice that you can give? One advice that you could give.
I would say not giving up. Because
Mhm.
this is the main thing, right? Why people are not succeeding, because they are giving up too early.
Yeah,
Because this is not a quick money. You have to stick with it. You have to wait till it's gonna work, till you figure out how it's working. Because everybody's coming on board here, like most of the people, right?
Mhm.
When they start, they don't have experience. Even though you have experience in the sales, or maybe you had experience in something else, but you never had experience in the real estate, when checks like million and up, or like 500,000 and up, or 3 million and up, or 5 million and up,
Mm.
you know, when you sell something for multi-million dollars, um, you have to learn how it works, and it takes time. You know, it's not happening on an everyday basis. That's why you have to be passionate, not the passionate, patient enough, right, to get to it, to learn, of course, because this is the as you're aware, right, you have to be
Yes.
uh, like really grind within a day. You have to learn
Yes.
stuff and like spend a lot of hours a day, and this is your own business. Everybody needs to understand this is not like as the agent you are um, working for someone. Yeah, you're working in the team, right? You work with my team, but you're working for yourself. You need to treat it the same way. A lot of people, they like, here in my area, they understand. Okay, I'm working for myself. I will wake up at 10 a.m. You know, or I will go meet my friend for a beer or something. You know, this is not a right mentality. If you work for yourself, you have to like really
Have to really grind.
make sure that your ass is moving um, faster than someone else, you know. And yeah, you have to do it. Like, and I remember I used to do that. Like as you said, you still can see it in me. But I
Yes.
remember myself when I used to wake up for probably like 9 or 10 years at 6 a.m. Sometimes, of course, it
That's
was seven. Sometimes it was at 5:30. But 6 a.m. is like pretty much the most of the time, like around
most of the
six. And
time.
you know what I used to enjoy when I lived in this apartment right here. When I woke up and I went on my balcony and I see the sun is not rising yet. You know, like so I used to wake up before the sun, and it gave me some kind of pleasure. I'm like, okay, if I can wake up before the sun woke up, pretty much, right? Of course, it's not waking up,
Mm.
but it's kind of, you know, I'm like, okay, if I can achieve that, I can do a lot of things in my life, you know?
We have it in Arabic. It's a saying that we have. Uh,
Uh,
Waking up early. If the translation is not going to be rhyming, but this is how we say
uh,
it. Waking up early. Uh, if you wake up early, you will earn the gold. That's what we say.
mm-hmm,
And people mostly say, well, I woke up early. Where's the gold? This is
yeah,
just like a joke, but
mm-hmm,
it's usually what is said. And to have it steady for 10 years. And right now, I just understand. I never knew like that you were working in such an environment. I always thought like you yourself were disciplined, like the way you saw life is that you had to
mm-hmm,
work that way. But then understanding where you come from, that's even more insightful. So you have to do it. That's it. Like you have to do it. There's no other choice. I remember Mike Tyson saying that he used to wake up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and
mm-hmm,
he went to run and they asked him like, why are you doing this? Like you have a lot of money and like you can train as other people. Everybody's sleeping and you're 4 a.m. You're running. What, are you crazy? He's like, no, I'm doing it because I know that the others are not doing it. I know that
mm-hmm,
other
mm-hmm, yeah,
boxers are not doing this. I'm the one who's doing it. That's why I'm different. And if
mm-hmm,
they and everybody is saying this today, and mostly I do believe that athletes, not business or entrepreneurs, but I think athletes they know exactly what is discipline and they can actually transfer it to people. But business
mm-hmm,
entrepreneurs, you have like such a small percentage of those who make it. And those who make it are the ones who have the discipline. And it's just amazing to see. And just to get into real estate, I don't want to just make this podcast too long, but
yeah, yeah,
I just want to like because I learned a lot about you and I actually gained a lot of advice from you about it and it's amazing. But for real estate, you can see I know everybody's moving to Miami. Jeff Bezos, we have like everyone. The Citadel, Brickell is becoming more like Manhattan than Manhattan itself. But everybody's saying the market is blooming. But do you
mm-hmm.
think, in your professional opinion, do you think that the prices are going to be rising and rising and rising, or at some
No,
point
of course not.
it's going
No,
to
of
be
course, I will
steady?
catch you here. Yeah, yeah. Now the thing is, they cannot. Nothing in life cannot rise all the time. I mean, real estate or stocks or crypto, or there is always cycle. Even the life, right? There is a. Uh, I cannot say it's unfortunately. It is fortunately because yeah, there's a good times there like black stripe and white stripe, right? Why I'm saying it's fortunately, because if there will be no black stripes, you wouldn't see the white stripes, right? You
Yeah.
wouldn't realize it is a white
Yes.
stripe.
Hmm.
The same thing here, there's ups and downs as everything in life. With the real estate, yeah, well, now it's going higher and higher. Next few years, everybody's saying it will. I don't know. I can tell you one thing for sure. From what I see, if they will cut the rates, mortgage rates will go down and the
Hmm.
prices usually go up. That's how the economics works in here,
It's gonna work.
But we'll see. I don't know. I can tell you for sure uh, for um, for a good salesperson within the real estate, there is always business to do.
There's
Sometimes, of
always
course, there is
business.
much more business when the economy, like within the state or within the town, is hyping. Everybody's moving here. There's more things to do, but there's always something to do. And the thing is, if you like look at Alexa, if you figure out in the bad times how things work, if you were patient enough, right? If you were waiting for good times, then in the good times you will do
Good.
well. But a lot of people, when they start in the good times, if they don't have a good support, and they just, for example, I see some realtors here when they start 2 3 years ago when market was going up, everyone was selling, right? And now it's not that good for them
Yeah.
because market changed.
Mm.
It's not like sales amount of sales changed, right? Thanks God, not for us, but um, and they for them it's hard, right? Because they used to good things, they used to making a certain amount of money, and when it's changed,
Mm.
they need to adjust, they need to do something. But if they not if they're not keeping up, then it's going to be hard for them, and they will have to figure out what else they can do.
You're very right. You're very right. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the insights, Dennis. I don't want to hold you off
Yeah,
for too
man, you're
long.
welcome.
I
No
know you have
problem.
business to do. uh, so yeah, for me, like as you have said, this is something very interesting because I myself I believe that I used to work in the health field, and I used to
Hmm.
do really tough things. And if you do just one small tiny mistakes, it's not like you're not gonna earn the money, but someone is going to die. Like the stakes are as
Hmm.
high as they can be. And the fact that you said what you said right now is that if you don't learn how to do things when they're really hard or it's really bad, when things are really easy, it's just
Hmm.
it's not the way to learn. It's not, because for me, even if you are at the top, you can't stop learning. There's always
Yeah,
someone
well,
better than
yeah,
you.
yeah,
There's always someone above. There's always someone who knows more and understands more and earns more. So if you think that you stopped learning, it's just for me it's
yeah,
just it's not something I see. It's not something I look up to. But like yeah, so this is pretty much
yeah.
what I had to
You
ask.
have to always learn. Yeah, yeah, that's true, man. You have to always learn, no matter what. Maybe it's learn about your mind, right? How it works, why we do things certain ways, right? Or learn about business, or learn about anything, right? It's all that knowledge is good. Depends what you choose to learn, and if it helps you mentally, if it helps you financially, if it helps you to be a good person, sure, why not? It's good to learn all the time, no matter how good you are at anything, right? It's
You're
just
really right.
no, it's open mind, it's open mind, and it's a difference between those who succeed and those who are not.
Or
Those
not,
who
of
are
course.
succeed, they are always okay. What else I can learn? What else I can find out? And they always have that curiosity. By the way, I also have that curiosity. I also ask question. Okay, what is that? What do you do? What's your business? Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
There's something
And
very
it's kind
interesting about you, and I don't know if you know it actually. Sorry to
of
cut you off, but I don't know if you know
yeah.
this.
Okay.
But in all of our meetings, every time I talk to you, every time like we are all together as a team, I can see that you notice everything. Like
Mm,
you're listening to me talk, but at the same time,
mm,
Nizar, is that a bird?
yeah.
Am I like? And it's very interesting. Even like myself, I would expect in a meeting with you or anything, like when we speak, and
Yeah.
you're just okay. You said, are you fasting? Are you this? And I'm like, okay, wait, this is really good because you're not focusing on one thing, because you're aware of the environment fully, and that is something that
Mm.
I really love about you. And another thing is, learning for me is not just about business or money or real estate, or because sometimes you can stop learning that. It's okay. At a certain point, you have reached not the
Mhm.
maximum
Mhm.
knowledge, but you know everything.
Yeah.
But learning is also about yourself. When you stop everything, you go somewhere nice, beach, Pampano Beach, you go wherever, just rest, and you think about yourself. You start
Mhm.
learning
Mhm.
more about yourself than ever. Because trust me, sometimes I know that you do yoga, right? And
I used
it's
to, not
something,
now, but like
uh,
for a month I didn't do it. Yeah, but I do for the
but
last 5 years I do.
it's really refreshing, and
Yeah.
it's not like it's different than like weights and all. But when you
Mhm.
have that short time with yourself, without music, without anything, you start thinking.
Mhm.
Sometimes you learn
Mhm.
stuff about yourself that you never knew you had, like
Mhm.
you never knew you thought
Yeah.
about. And for me, that is also a part of learning. At the same that I think people forget, or like tend to not care about. You work, learn, study, but then you forget to learn about you. And once you have all money, you have everything. And I think this is what sets the bar really high, because once you have what you reached and you have
Mhm.
everything, you're not happy. And you're like, why am I not
Yeah.
happy? This is what I every time dreamed about. And this is why people keep chasing for money, or they just want
Mhm.
something to keep chasing for. And I told you before, when I joined, I told you, Dennis, I respect you a lot. And before coming to an interview, I like before I didn't go and study walls and real estate, or like what do they do. I know that's it, real
Mhm.
estate agency. I understand they work in Miami. When I go to website, what am I gonna find out? Listings. It's okay, that's
Mhm.
normal.
Mhm.
But then I went, okay, let me find out about who's running the show. Like, and that's the way I'm going to have the interview.
Mhm.
And when I spoke to Ash first, and the conversation basically like 10 minutes was about you, because I'm like, okay, this is his story. And I'm like, wow, how does he just go from Russia to just wow, like this is interesting for me and I want to learn. And when I spoke to you, I understood, because it's not you as a person, but like mostly your mentality. And now that we've shared this podcast, me and you, like I understand even more
Mhm.
how it comes. And I'm grateful for you, like for this opportunity, podcast, working with you and everything. It just crazy for me. I gotta tell you that.
Hey,
Such a pleasure.
good. I'm happy to hear that, to be honest. Happy to
Of
hear that,
course, of
for
course.
sure.
It's just the truth for me. It's just the truth. And I don't know, Dennis, do you have more time, or like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
of
Yeah.
course. So I wanted to ask you, you see that now there is AI, there's a lot of
Mhm.
technology, and everything is just going up. You already know that. You've already like done cryptocurrency transactions, and you've
Mhm.
been one of the first who did in Miami, and it's amazing. So you are like following the trend. Now the
Mhm.
trend
Mhm.
states that AI is going to rule, and
Yeah.
technology is as it best. How do you think it's going to impact real estate? Like, is it going to make it more challenging to be a real estate broker, or it's going to make it easier to be a real estate broker?
I think both,
Both.
yeah. For some people, it's going to be more challenging. For those who are against technologies, like the thing is, our brain is is an interesting creature,
Hmm.
and like it's hard for us to accept things um, that are new for us, that we not used to them. Like even the crypto, right? People still don't understand how it works, how people make money out of it. Like social media, right? In general, people making a lot of money from social media, but there is still people who don't believe how they make money because it's all kind of BS, right? They
Yeah.
just like influencer. But this is the way how our life changes. You have to take brick and build, I don't know, like a house, and this is physical work, and that's why you're gonna get paid, right? Things are changed. Same thing with the AI. If you accept it, and if you are um, how to say that, we'll figure out how it's gonna work, right? You're gonna use it for your business, then it's gonna help you. But if you're gonna resist, and or if you just like will stay on the side, you're not gonna use it, then of course
It's just
it's gonna, yeah,
it's gonna be
it's
hard.
like as you said with the crypto transactions, right? I think it was a week ago. I got a call from a guy last week, and his name Nicola. He said they he's got a contact from St. Regis sales office. So St. Regis developer, they gave him my contact because I can do crypto transactions. He called me and he started asking questions. I said, yeah, I can help you with that. And so this is the advantage, one of the advantages, right, that I use for my business, like on making videos or this and that, like other different things. So you have to do something differently. If someone is not using, if like a lot of people not using AI, and you are the first one who's gonna, like one of the first ones who's gonna use it, look, you're gonna have advantage. Even if it's not gonna work, even if I don't know, will die tomorrow,
Yeah.
but you at least you tried. Then another thing is
Yes.
gonna come up, you will try again. And then from like one of those things, you will get great results because you will keep trying, and
Yes.
eventually you will find the way how it works.
Yes, you're really right.
So,
I can see how like AI for me at this point it has to make it easier for people
mhm,
because you can do a lot of things. At the moment it's going to be organizing the job, working with the leads, working with the clients, following up with the leads and the clients and also the first contact that could be not human. The first contact for
mhm,
me, I think it could be not human as of understanding the preferences of people because
yeah.
we know this is the age of speed. Nobody wants
Yeah,
just to sit
exactly.
down and listen to you talk for a lot like that's gone. Everybody just whenever you have whatever question you have, you just go to Google, just go to Chat GPT, just go whatever, and that's it.
Mhm,
The age of speed. So I do believe that it's gonna be easier for those who will accept it the way you said,
mhm,
those who accept that it's going to be here no matter what you do. So it's either
yeah.
you use it or someone else will use it and just surpass you. I do believe that whatever changes come, you have
Mhm,
to embrace them, and at the same time you have to just learn to live with that. And that way I think you said everything. You're very right. And for me, I do believe AI is going to be a good thing for hardworking real estate agents because those who do not wake up at 8 a.m., 6 a.m., 10 a.m., and do wake up at like 1 p.m. and stuff, they're
mhm.
even with AI, without or with, they're not gonna do anything because with
Yeah, for
AI,
sure.
it's gonna make it easy and people will go like, okay, then I can rest. AI can do the
Mhm,
job. Like they
mhm.
can talk. I'll
And you
just
can do
put in the
more job with it,
information.
right?
Yeah, you can do. But why
More
not
tasks, more
do
things.
exactly? Why not just let AI do something and go do some other task?
You can
But some
focus
people
on some, exactly, on
exactly.
something
So
else. Yeah, 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 that's
this
true.
is my opinion as well on technology, and
For sure. Technologies should make your life easier. You have to figure out how to use it. And yeah, for sure. There is no other way. That's why it exists at first
one.
place.
I have one last question to not take much of your time. I know that you're busy, and I know that you have a lot of
No
things to
worries.
do,
No talk. Tell me.
but I have one. Work is busy. You have such a mentality to work. How do you maintain like life balance, work and life? Because it's not easy. I understand. Some people
Hmm.
I can see what I know. I ask every time a friend that I have, a close friend of mine, every time before becoming a close friend of mine, I have to ask you, what is more important to you? Professional life or personal life? This
Hmm.
is a question that I have to ask just to know
Hmm.
who you are, because this
Yeah.
the answer to this question just tells you everything about a person. And I wanted to ask you this, like, how do you maintain it? Real estate is busy. For
Yeah, yeah,
those
yeah.
who want it to be busy, you are one who wants real estate to be busy. You want to work, you want to do the job. How do you do
So look, I don't know.
it?
The thing is, I guess you kind of get used to
Your mic is
it.
cutting off a little bit. I don't know if it's my internet.
So the question was about the personal life, and I ask personal life, it means like the family and everything, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you just have to not to forget about, because with the work you can get just busy, 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 busy. And if you have, especially I have a daughter, if you have a kids, my opinion, you have my personal opinion, right? You have to remember about it and try to kind of remind ourselves. Like what I do sometimes right now, I even did on Wednesdays afternoon. like 3, 4, 5 p.m. I'm trying to kind of block and not to do anything and to go with her on the playground, you know.
Hmm.
Sometimes, okay, some Wednesdays I cannot do it, some Wednesday I can, but at least I'm trying to get used to that mood that on Wednesdays I will try to have that time because time goes fast, you know, especially if you have a kids, it's they will grow up and that's it.
Yeah,
The time is not gonna be, it's not gonna happen again.
it's just the early
That's why I'm kind
life.
of exactly. Plus, you know, priorities, you see what's important and what's not important. Before I could like, I will go for every meeting, you know, like I will, yeah, well, I was like all over the place. Let's put it that way, because I had more time, but now I'm trying to look at the things what's more
What
like
matters.
prioritize, yeah, what matters plus priority, right?
Hmm.
Plus, like before I was by myself, and now I have a team, right? And it helps, of course, it helps a lot when you have a team that you can rely on, you know, when you're
Hmm.
by yourself. It's a different story. When you have a team, there something can happen, you know, that you have people around you who can cover you or you can help you or you can help financially or can help mentally, you know, and that's important.
The way you say it makes me just like, because my answer, whenever someone asks me, I'm like, it's like, I don't know, it's like a balance. You have professional life, personal life.
Hmm.
If you just drag one the other side, the balance is not gonna be as it
Yeah,
was. You're not gonna be, you are not going to be okay. That's how
yeah,
it
yeah.
goes, because
Balance, it's a
you're
good
going to
word.
exactly balance. You're going to lose
Yeah,
something, because if you miss the early lives of your child, you're not going to get them back. And if you miss that meeting opportunity that you had to close
yeah,
at 5 million, six,
yeah,
7 million dollars, you're not going to get it back. So it's just the
yeah.
stakes, and you have
It's
to
a balance. It's a
prioritize.
balance. Yeah,
Exactly. It's like an equilibrium.
everywhere.
It's an
Yeah,
equilibrium.
balance has to be everywhere for sure, for sure.
So you're
If you,
searching.
that's why sometimes you probably heard when I say, look, if you guys get busy a lot with work, you know, sometimes you just have to go for a walk. Like
Yes.
Irina, I remember she's got busy. I used to tell her, look, you have to just go and spend a couple of hours on the beach. Just take off your phone, put it somewhere, leave it home. You know, just go for a walk. She's like, no, no, I cannot do it. I have so much things to do. I'm like, no, this is your thing. This is what you have to do right now.
Yes.
Because when you in that bubble inside of the bubble, you don't see it, right? You think this is the most important. This is what you have to do. But from the side, I can see, okay, this is that's what you have to do right now because you're like stressed, you with lots of work, and it's not gonna do any good for you or for business, right? When you are too much stressed. That's why you have to balance, as you
Of
said,
course.
and sometimes take off from the work or take work off from the work for yourself or for a family. And at the same time, not to get lazy with the work.
Not to get
Otherwise,
lazy
you
with
just,
work. It's just
exactly.
a balance. This is something
Yeah.
that Alexa tells me every day, and she knows that
Mhm.
whenever I'm like, I get sick or whatever, I don't tell her. She knows that, because I
Yeah.
never tell her. She's like, Nizar, you're not gonna tell me. I know. Just let me
Mhm.
speak to Dennis. And she's like, I know you're not gonna speak to Dennis. That's for sure. I'm like,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
not about it's not about me not wanting to speak to you guys, but like, I just get too stuck in what I'm doing. I'm like, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
I gotta finalize this. And it's just the way it's been said. It's all about balance. So Dennis, I really
Yeah.
thank you so much for giving
But
me this
let me,
opportunity.
I will add one more thing, my
Of
friend.
course, of course.
And when you just said you stuck with something, that's the thing. When you're doing something repeatedly, right?
Yeah.
And you put a lot of time, hours a day, the thing is, and you don't get results
Ah,
in that process. Sometimes what can help you if you just relaxed or you take, I don't know, a couple hours off and you look at that from a different angle
mhm.
and it can give you results. And it's a paradox, but that's how it works pretty often, when you do something and you expect results from the thing is like we are creatures of habits, right?
Yes.
And we do something consistently. Like if I have to do get results, I have to, for example, call that lead, talk to him, like offer him something, like do certain steps, right?
Mhm.
And I know that I'm gonna get results, but sometimes you can do something differently. If those steps not working for you and you put a lot of effort in it, then you have to try something different. And don't be afraid. The most important part, don't be afraid to try things because
Yes.
nothing is going to happen if you try. But if you don't try, then you don't try.
You're so right. You're so right. I mean, I agree with you totally, and it's yeah, I really do agree. So I really want to say, like, this is a huge opportunity for me to just have this podcast with
Thank
you.
you
I
for
know.
your time, my friend.
Now, of course,
I really
I'll
enjoyed it.
always have time. I enjoyed it as well. Like, it's a pleasure talking to you, and as I told you before, like, it's a pleasure for me to be the first one to do this podcast with you. It's just I'm gonna remember
Thank
this
you.
for a long time.
And
But
we'll
I
make many
enjoy.
more.
Of course, sure, definitely. There's still a lot to talk about. I know it's not just 40 minutes or 1 hour with you. It's not gonna be enough to know, but like I enjoyed it a lot, learned a lot, and hopefully I'll keep learning from you. So thank you so much for everything and
My pleasure.
for
My
your time,
pleasure,
Dennis.
Nizar. Good to see
Thank
you.
you.
Take care,
See
my
you.
friend.
Take care.
Bye bye.